true or a false, right? And so in programming, we compare values as well. We use comparison operators to compare two values. We check if a value is greater or less than, or we can also check if a value is equal to. Basically, that's what comparison operators does for us in JavaScript. And these are some of the key comparison operators we have in JavaScript. We have this equal to. This is an equal. This means equal in value only. It's an equivalent, right? Let me keep note. Let me open my. Let me use my sticky notes. So keep this by the side. So we have the equal to, then we have the strictly, then we also have the equal in value data type. That's exactly. I don't know who is that. Hello, Benedict. Kindly mute yourself. Hello, Benedict. Thank you. All right, then we have the not equal to, right? Denoted as this. Then we have the greater than. I want to keep this as aside, then we'll go into the VS Code. We have the less than, then we have the greater or equal to. We have the less than or equal to, right? Then, so basically these are the major JavaScript comparison operators we will be working with, right? And then talking about logical operators. Okay, let's look at logical operators as well. Don't worry, I'll go to my VS Code and explain this practically. I'm not really a fan of words. I like seeing the output. I like writing the code, right? So for operators, right, we have the ampersand. This ampersand simply means and. Don't worry, like and, right? I will explain that. Then we'll have the pipe. This pipe is like all. Then we have the negation, right? This means like not. All right, let's go see what all these guys are. Okay, let me split my screen. Here's my sticky notes. All right, so the first thing on our list is the comparison operators. So for the comparison operators, let's write a comment. We'll be looking at comparison operators here. And then for comparison operators, we said number one, we have the equality or equivalent, right? Or the equivalent. So now for this equivalent, this is what we're basically trying to do here. We could say something like, let's do something like, okay, const. Remember, in our previous class, we looked at all these variable declarations, how to make use of const, let, and var, and their basic difference, right? Let's say, for example, we'll have something like const num1 is equal to 5, and sorry, this is 1. And then we have something like const num2 equal to 6, right? Let me do something like, okay, console dot log num1 equal to num2. We save this. Now immediately we say this is it return a false. Remember, it's simply we are trying to ask what is the output when you compare num1. Is num1 equal to num2? Is it equivalent? But this is 5, this is 6. They are not equal. That's why we got a false. Remember, like I said in the beginning, the output is usually always a Boolean, right? Then let's say we change this to 6 now. See, is 6 equal to, that's num1 equal to num2? 3, that's correct, right? Then looking at this other one, strictly equivalent, right? Let me call this is strictly equivalent. For this strictly equivalent, is comparing both the value and the data type. Let me check something real quick, right? Let me comment this so we'll not be having plenty things in our console. Let's say I have something like okay, let's continue using this. Let me put this in quotation and then type here console. Okay, I don't need to type. Let me just fetch this guy and use it. Paste, and then I save. Look, num1 equal to num2. It told me true. But in our previous class, remember I said once you put a quotation mark even between around numbers, it becomes a string. Let me show you guys something. Let's say we'll do something like console.log type of. Let's check type of num1. That's what is the data type of num1. It's a string. It's not a number. Okay, let's check console.log type of. Want to check the data type of num2. Num2 is a number. Let me specify so we can see it. This is num2. See, num2 is a number, but num1 is a string. Let me specify here so you can see it very clearly. You see, num1 is a string, num2 is a number, right? So it's comparing a string and a number and saying that yes, it's true, two of them are equivalent. But that's where strictly equivalent now comes into play. Strictly equivalent does not just check the value, but it checks the data type. That's this guy now checks both value and data type. And so that's here now, instead of having just two equal to sign, we'll add a third one, right? Let me comment out these guys, and then let's check. Now she's telling us it's false. It's saying that num1 is not equal to what? Num2, because with the three equal to sign, we are not checking just the value, but we're checking the data type as well. Remember, this one is type string, this one is type number. So it's because this one is type string, this one is type number, they are not equal, right? But if I remove this guy, one of them, it will tell me that it's true. Both of them are the same, but both of them ideally are not the same. That's why sometimes when you're writing a large code, you may have to, or you may want to go with the strictly equal to. That's to compare, to check both the data type and the value itself. I believe we're able to do justice to that. Any question before I move on? I don't think there's any. Is there any? No, thank you very much. All right, let's look at the third item. The third one is the not equal. The not equal. Right, let's see, maybe we'll have something like const x equal to 6, and then let's just use const y equal to 8, right? We could do something like, okay, console.log x is not equal to y. X is not equal to y. Let me comment this guy. Oh, let me comment this thing. I don't want to save it. Good. Yeah, terminal is clear now, right? Okay. Okay, who can quickly tell us what this thing is going to result to? Will this give us a true or a false? X is not equal to y. Would this give us a true or false? True, right? That's
an
great.
error.
False. It's false.
Error.
False.
An error.
Okay. Somebody said an error. Somebody said true. Someone said false. Okay, let's look at the answer, right?
It will give us true.
All right, let's look at the answer. Let me save. May I save? We'll see the output. They gave us true. Yes, actually, x is not equal to y. X is 6, y is 8. This is as good as placing these two numbers side by side and asking you, is 6 equals to 8? You know these guys are not equal, right? So this is the same thing we're writing here. Rather, what we are writing here, we are saying that x is not equal to y. Let's say we change this thing to this Here now we are saying that x is equal to y. That's what we're saying. But the computer will tell us that no, this is not true. Let me see, we'll see false. We said that x is equal to y. The computer says that is false. It's not true. But now, if you put the exclamation sign, which means not equal, we are now saying that x is not equal to y. And to see, you see that yes, it is true. The computer now said, yeah, it's true. X is not equal to y. That is it for the not equal comparison operator. Any question? All right, great. Let's move. So the fourth guy now we'll be looking at is we'll look at the greater than and the less than operator, right? Now let's say we have two different other values. Like let's say A. Meanwhile, let me comment this guy so that our console will be clear. So to clean up, you can always click on this guy to wipe off. A, let's say A is equal to 25, and then const B is equal to 30, right? 30. Yeah, we could do something like, okay, console.log A greater than B. Console, let me close my terminal. Console.log B is greater than A. No, B is less than A. All right. Let me call this guy question 1. Let me call this guy question 2. All right. So can you drop your answers in the chat section? Answer to what do you think question 1 will result to, and what do you think question 2 will result to? Can you type it in the chat section quickly? You can drop your answers in the chat section. Drop your answers in the chat section, please.
True and true.
Drop your answers in the chat section. We'll look at it. All right. Okay. Everybody saying true. All right, let's confirm. Both answers are true. That's great. All right, that's awesome. Question 2 is true. What about question 1, Ariel? You didn't talk about question 1. You only said question 2. All right, let's look at the console. All right, okay, question 1. All right, that's nice, guys. Great one. All right, let's see what's happening in the console. Console said that both of them are true, and that was correct. So basically, this is how you work these comparison operators, right? There'll be times where it's all these small function bunch of, right, will convert it. You need to make these decisions, right, so that you perform a certain action on a component or perform a particular task, right? I don't know who is that person. Should kindly mute himself. Benedict, you're still unmuted. Kindly mute yourself. Thank you. You have not yet muted. Hello, Benedict. Kindly mute yourself. Thank you. All right, great. Okay, so my sticky notes. Where are you? Sticky notes. Yep, sticky notes. Okay, we have looked at the greater and less than now. The next guy we'll be looking at is this number. We'll look at number 5. We'll look at greater. We'll look at greater than or equal to, and we'll also look at less than or equal to. These are the normal basic comparison we do, right? In our math, in our everyday activities and all that, right? So for this guy now, the greater, you usually start, it's greater than or equal to. Please do not say equal to or greater than. This thing means something else. This means something else. Maybe when you write, when we start working with functions. That's what we intend doing in our next class. You see, you can write a function. Yeah, this is you trying to write an arrow function, right? So you see, this thing means something else. Please don't say equal to or greater. It's greater than or equal to. Or you can say less than or equal to, right? So maybe if we are comparing two values, let me say, okay. Now, what if I say, okay, console.log A? Remember, I've declared A here. You can say A is less than or equal to. Oh, my console is open. Let me close this. A is less than or equal to B. And then we can as well say console.log B is greater than or equal to A. Save this guy. All right, let's say this is our question number 3. This is question number 4. Can you drop your answers in the chat section quickly? Let's see, so that we can look at our console to see the right answer. That A is A actually greater than or equal to B? Drop your answers to the chat section. Please drop your answers in the chat section so that others can also, we can see everybody's view. By the time you say false, somebody that wanted to say true now will now start thinking about his life, that was I thinking the wrong thing or something? So let's drop our answers in the chat section, please. Thank you. All right, I see both false, question false, both false. All right. Okay, let's look at our console. Okay, someone just dropped. Let me see. False. All right, everybody's saying false. Let's go there and see what's happening. Okay. Yep. False. That was correct. Great. All right. I see you guys are doing well. Okay, so we have successfully looked at greater and less than. Then the next thing we are looking at, these are the logical operators, right? What we'll be looking at is comparison operators, right? So now we go into the logical operators. So in our logical operators, we'll be looking at, the first thing we'll be looking at is the AND, capital letter AND. We'll look at number 2, the OR, and then we'll look at number 3, which is NOT, right? Great. Yeah, I think we're done with this guy now, right? Meanwhile, let me comment out all these guys so that we can have our console neat and clear. Yeah, so we have nothing in the console now. All right, for logical operators, first thing we have AND. It's just a very basic day-to-day English word that we make use of, right? That's why I keep saying JavaScript is very simple. And if somebody say, okay, please, if you're going to the market, make sure you must, okay, let's say you must buy bread and butter. You must buy bread and butter. Then someone else now say, if you go to the market, buy bread or rice. That's like, you have an option, either to buy bread or you buy rice. So if you buy bread, it means you're through. If you buy rice, it means you're also through. But the person that say buy bread and strictly and butter, here he wants you to buy the both of them. You can be right only when you buy the both of them. Don't buy just bread. If you buy only bread, you're still wrong. If you buy just butter, you're still wrong. He said bread and, you must please buy bread and butter. If you're not buying bread and butter, just leave it. But the other guy now said buy bread or rice, right? So if you're not buying bread, then buy rice. That we are talking about or now, right? Now let's look at it in code. Let's say I have something like okay, let's say I have something like const, what am I think of something. Okay, let me comment out this guys so that maybe if I do a mistake of trying to declare them, they will not give me problem. All right, so let's say maybe I just say, okay, const, let me use num1 again. That's why I've commented it up, so it's not going to throw any error, right? Let's say if I say num1 is equal to 5, const num2 is equal to 10. I can have, let me copy this guys so that we'll save ourselves time. And then this is num3, this is num4, and then this is num12. And then say this is num17. And then I now see that, okay, I want you guys to look at this too. Kindly watch this closely from the explanation I just gave. See if you can give me an answer to this. I'm saying that, oh, my console is open. Hey, console, please go away. Okay, I'm saying now that num1 is greater than num2. And you're not writing and like this, right? You use and, that's ampersand. And num3 is less than num4. Okay, guys. Oh, somebody has dropped an answer, right? Okay. What do you think about this question? We have, this is a condition. This is and another condition. Remember, if you go to the market, buy bread and butter for me. If you're not buying bread and butter, leave it. So can you drop your answers in the chat section? What do you think about this? I can see false, true, false, false. Somebody saying true and false are at the same time false, false. Okay, false, false. Let's see who will win. The false are having a lot of votes. False. True. Yeah, okay. A change of mind. True. All right. True and false is false. Okay, that's a good one. False, false. True. Okay, let's see. Is anybody typing? No, I guess no. I guess no. All right. Okay, let's look at this. Let's analyze it together. Remember bread and butter. If you're not buying the two, forget it. Okay, this is bread now. Num1 is greater than num2. If you check this thing, is num1 is 5. Is it greater than num2? Oh, somebody just dropped false. Okay. Now we're working on it together. So now is num1, which is 5, greater than 2. This alone will evaluate to a false, right? Let me cut out this part so we can see it. Command X. Let's look at the terminal. That side alone is going to evaluate to a false. Yes, you can see the false, right? Because 5 is not greater than, okay. Okay, then looking at this other side, num3, which is 12, less than. Yes, this side is true, but because this side is false, it means that all of these things is false. That's why we have the and. Remember, if you are not buying bread and butter, forget it. If you buy just bread, you are wrong. If you buy just butter, you're wrong. This is like you not buying bread and buying butter, because this side now has resulted to false, and then this side has resulted to a true. So false, true will give us a false. For it to be true, both conditions must be true. Let's say we change this guy now to less than. Now you see we have a true. Actually, num1 is less than num2. This is true. Num3 is less than num5, which is still true. So this is it for the and operator, which makes use of the ampersand. Thank you, guys. All right, let's move to the next one. Let me copy this guy and use it again. Before I paste it, then close this guy. Oh, I've already explained the logic. Let me not waste that time. Let me not waste that time. So for all, what you make use of here is the pipe. The pipe. Yeah, this pipe. This is what you use for all, right? All. Okay, for all. For all, buy bread or rice. So if you buy only rice, you're right. If you buy only bread, you're correct. If you decide and buy rice and bread, you're still correct. So if, let me check our console. Let me comment this guy out. We're not working with this guy. Now you see it's true. This side is true. This side is also true. But okay, let me make this side false now by saying, okay, this is greater. Remember, num1 is 5, num2 is 10, right? Is 10. Sorry, num1, 5. Is 5 greater than 10? No, this is false. In as much as this is false, let me save. But this other side is true. Our answer is still going to be true. If both sides are true, the result will still be true. As long as there is a true, the final output is true. But for this one, for you to get a true, both sides, that's for and now, both sides must be true. But for all, once one side is true, then the answer is true. I hope that makes sense. Then talking about not, this is a negation, right? We use this actually to negate things, right? I could say something like, okay, const is a boy. Let me say const is a boy. This is true, right? If I decide and say, okay, console.log, I want to negate is a boy. Let me comment this guy first of all. Clear our console. You see, the answer now, oh, sorry. Save this. You see, the answer is false. Let me remove this negation sign. I save it. You see, the answer is true. Remember, I already assigned a Boolean value that is a boy is true. So if I just go ahead straight and say, okay, console.log is a boy, remember I say it's true, so it's a true. But by the time I put this negation sign here, that's I'm saying convert. If this thing is true, change it to false. I save it now, I see a false. If it's maybe let me change this to false. If this is false, the answer will going to be true. It's like switching. If the answer, if the variable was true, change it to false. If the variable was false, change it to true. That's how negation works. I believe we're able to do justice to logical operators and comparison operators. Any question before we move on to the last lap of today's class? Any questions? Oh, we have incremental and decremental. We didn't talk about this? Okay, we'll talk about it. Any question? Please, if there is no question, kindly drop a message in the chat section so I'll know that actually you're following and I'm not just talking to my laptop or talking to myself.
Sorry, I don't. Can you please explain that the and again?
Okay, yeah. I'll do that. Any other question? All right.
So that or and is still confusing. If you can throw more light on it.
Or and okay. All right, let's look at or and. Then we'll look at increments and decrements. All right, let me just read this quick. We say in JavaScript, we use the increment and decrement operator to increase or decrease a value stored in a variable. Increment to increase, decrement is to decrease. It's just normal English. That then the only addition we have going forward is that the increment or the decrement could be pre or post. You know, when something is happening before anything, then post, maybe it's after, right? Just normal English. JavaScript is just our normal English, right? Yeah, so we'll look at that also in our BS school. So when we come back, after I finish answering that question, then we'll look quickly at the conditional statement. Wow. Okay, let's go back into the browser and our VS Code. Okay, the and or. Okay, and is very simple. And or, okay, yes, I think I have a good explanation for or. Let me begin with or. Two things about a human being, right? It's either you are a boy or you are a girl. That's all. It's either you are a boy or you are a girl. That doesn't make sense, right? Let me think of something else. That doesn't make sense. Okay. Yeah, let me see. Reflect on the analogy we've been using about bread and butter, right? Okay, when you're talking about and. Okay, let me try something else. Something else. I pray this works. Okay, look at this guy now. I'm not using numbers again. I'm not using. You can use username and password. Okay, I'll look at username and password. Okay, good. All right, look at this guy. Let's say I have console.log. Console.log. Okay. Let me first declare some variables here. Const A is equal to false. Good. And then const B is equal to true. All right. So if I now say A, console.log A and B, this thing is going to give me false. Look at it, false. Why is it giving me false? That's for this thing to give me a true. A must be true. B must also be true. But look, if I change this guy from false to true, now you see it has given me true. That's those two conditions, they must be true before you can get to true. But if you're talking about or, for instance, now let's say I have something like const C equal to false, and then const D equals true, and then I do something like console.log C pipe D, that's C or D. You see, it gave me true. Let me comment out this up one so you see. Very well. See, this is true. Let me add a statement here. Output for all. Right, let me see. Yeah, see, this is the output for all. See, now because C is false, D is true. But if I change this guy to false, now it's going to give me false. That's for all. Before you get a false as your output, both of them must be false. If not, as long as one of them is true, you are going to get a true. It's simple, right? Go to the market, buy beans or rice. That's if you do not see beans, then you can buy rice from me. That is still fine. That's rice here now. Okay, I went to the market and I say, okay, let me call this rice actually. Let me call this guy beans. Okay. Oh, makes sense. All right. So now you went to the market. So now true here, let's say true means there's rice. False here means now there's no beans. So true means there is. False means there's not. So you went to the market, there's rice. Beans, absent, false. So rice or beans, buy rice or beans. There's rice, so you're going to buy rice. So as long as you bought one of these items, the answer is true. That's you're using or now, right? But if you're using maybe this guy now. Okay, because this is a constant. Let me just correct that quickly. Okay, yeah, basically we can use one of them on top. It's fine. Okay, let me copy this guy quickly and just make use of it up here. And then I change this here to the ampersand, and then I change this to and. All right. Now, if you look at this guy, rice is true, beans is false. You see, output of and is false. For the output of and to be true, both of them must be true. That's for you to get a true with and, this must be true, right? Sorry, true, this is true. So now true will give you a true. Now someone said I should make use of username and password. Good. So now, for example, before you log into your Facebook account, if you type only your email address without a password, you will not be able to log in. So it means that the criteria for you to log in, you must write your password and your username or your email address. That you must write your, I think that's making sense. For you to log into your Facebook, for instance, there's provision for email. So you can either write your email there or you can write your phone number. One of the two is going to work. That's for all now. Or you can write your email or your phone number. That's for all, right? It will still work. Again, using our Facebook scenario, for you to log into your Facebook, you must put a valid email address and a password. There must be an email address and a password. Or you could say there must be a phone number and a password. Thus, you must have those two fields filled out. I hope that makes sense. I hope that makes sense.
Yes.
Great, thank you. All right, so let's look at quickly. We'll look at the increment and decrement. So basically, for increment, let's say maybe I have something like const num 5. Okay, there's no num, so let me just say const num is equal to 10, and then I do something like, okay, console.log num plus plus. Let me comment this. Let me comment this. Let me save this. Assignment to a call. Yes, because this is a constant. And what I'm trying to do here, I'm trying to change the value of this. That's why it threw this error to me. I think I explained that in a previous class. Let's change this to okay. Then let me now say console. Sorry, the log. No. Let me just put this like this. Okay. Let me put it another console.log here. Console.log. No. Okay, now if you look at this, is the original number. Num is 10. That's why if you console log it here, that was where we got. Let me add a statement here before. And this is after. So before, the original value of num is 10. That's why we got 10 here. But after this increment, this is plus plus, right? This is an increment. We now got this 10. Right? So what this is for increment, right? You use the plus sign twice, right? What if I change it? Okay, let me leave that. Let me comment it rather. And then write, what if I have something like num minus minus? Before, num was 10, but this guy now performed some magic on it and reduced it to 9. So this is what we refer to as decrement. and this is increment, and this is decrement. Yes, maybe we'll start looping. Oh, yeah, I don't think we'll be able. Can we cover that tonight? Okay, let's see how much we can cover tonight. We understand how the importance of increment and decrement in our code, right? Okay, then, but what if I now do something like this? Minus, minus, and I save this. Okay, it's not giving me the kind of output I want. Let me put this here. Oh, yeah. Okay. Just a bit. So basically, I think the effect is not showing the way I want
hello,
to show.
sir. Hello,
Yes.
sir.
Yeah.
What you are actually trying to do now, I wanted to ask, so just let me be quiet before you now even start doing it. But
Okay.
I wanted to know what the difference between having the sign
Pre and the okay, having the sign before and after, right? Yeah, there's actually a difference, but I'm not. Maybe because this is just a very simple illustration, that's why it's not really giving me the result. But there's actually
maybe
a difference, right?
During looping.
Yes, exactly. When we loop through, we can see all those things. But the difference is
console.
Sorry?
I said you can run it on the console. If you use the minus minus at the back, what happens?
Okay, in the console will make sense, right? So, but basically, this is a pre. What we are saying here is pre. This is happen, and then this is the post that we're trying to talk about, right? Post. But now, okay, let me try running it in the console to see if this is going to give us.
You see the result immediately when you put it in front.
Okay, let's see. We have this, and then we have num minus minus. Okay. No. Yeah, I'm still getting this effect here, right? So I have to, sorry, let me change the variable. Let's say I have let z equal to 10, and then I now say minus minus z 9. No, not exactly what I want. Yes, I think.
Now call the variable
console.z. Yes.
No. Now call the variable again now.
Yes, that's what
it has
good.
No, now changed.
Okay, great, thank you. So yeah, but in the here wasn't really giving us what you wanted. Okay, but yeah, here it's more interactive, right? So as you drop in it, you see. So this is just the difference. This is the initial value, right? 10. Z is 10. Pre means do it before. It's like a simple analogy. Pre, you know, when something is like, let it happen before the next instance. Oh, does that make sense?
Like,
so
like reduced before you print.
Exactly, yes, something
minus
like that.
Before you print.
Exactly.
And
minus before
you minus.
Exactly. You can minus, but keep it in state until I ask you, right? Now, at this point, right, you can minus it. You have actually minused it, but give me the value is still here. But when next I call you, okay, okay, let's use money for instance, right? Maybe I give you 1,000 naira now. Pre means use 100 naira inside and give me the change. Post means use the 100 naira, but wait, give me the change. You now give me 900. How does that make sense? I'm not feeling it the way I'm thinking it in my head. I just wish I can put it the way it's like. Yeah, but I think the way she who was that put it was quite interesting as well, right? This like minus and then print it immediately. This like, yes, minus print, you're keeping it, but you see, when I mean, after we did this z minus, it still gave us 9. But the next instance of z is 8. Don't worry, I know when.
Because it's already printed, the 9 is already printed, and they're
Yeah.
holding the result. When you now call it again, the result will now show which is 8.
Exactly. That's like the
Wait,
next instance.
let me understand something there.
Mm.
Why we are having 8 when we call the console.log the variable? If after declaring let z equals to 10, then we do minus z, then call console.log z, will we still get this 8?
Come again. If let's say we do
at this point we are immediately after okay minus z.
Okay, let's use the console.log straight away. Console.log. Okay, let's try this out. Minus z, right?
Yeah.
9.
Okay.
Console.log z minus 9. Now the next instance of z, now look at it, console.log. Yeah, I think this makes sense. Z. I'm sorry, I wrote capital letter. Small z. 8. Can you see? Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Let me go over it again. Let me use another variable because that one is already stored in memory. Let's say console.log y is equal to 10. Sorry, y equal to 10, right? It's 10. Now it's 10. We know y is 10. So if I do okay, console.log y. Let me use it. Minus. At this point, it's going to subtract and give me the value. Oh, what was that? Okay, sorry. You know, I'm using const, and const you can't reassign the value of const. That's you can, yeah, you can't alter this.
You can't change it.
So I mean, let me use we'll be using let. Okay,
let's
say let u, for example, equal to 10, right? Then we'll now say something like okay, console.log minus u. Hit enter. You see, right? This is it happened and then it gave me instantly. Okay, let's try again. Console.log u. Enter. This has been decreased, but it still maintained that initial state. But the next instance of it now, console, let me just .log u will give me 8. It's like you see the effect afterwards. Like, oh yeah, I think that's the word, right? Yeah, this thing has happened, but you're not going to feel the impact. But after, you're going to feel it. When next you need it, you will feel it. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
It does, right? Great, awesome. But I know when we start looking over some other things, we'll see all of these guys in action. All right. Okay, so and this works similarly for the increment, right? So let me say, okay, we have let's see equal to why am I using 10 today? Let me just use another number. 20. Okay, let's say I say console.log plus 20. You should see this instantly. What did I do? Oh, what's wrong with me, man? Console.log plus c, right? Yeah, you see it instantly because it happened. And then this like the immediate next instance. That's what we're seeing, 21 happening immediately. But now if we do okay, console.log c plus plus. It still gave me 21, but the next time I call C, console.log, the next time, which is now that I'm calling C will give me 22. That is it for pre and the post increment.
So what will happen if hello, sir?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Maybe we can try it here now. Let's say after calling console.log plus plus 20, you just do console.log after the console.log plus plus 20.
Yeah, I get your question.
You now do console.log C.
Log C after each increment. That's what it
Yes.
is.
I now do console.log 20 plus plus.
Immediately after doing console.log plus plus C, do console.log C. Let's see what will happen.
Can you see what just happened? Invalid left-hand side expression.
You use 20, sir.
Yeah, he said, was it not 20 say I should use?
No. You just see. So just
Okay,
clean
see.
all of them, then you.
Okay, let's try it again.
Okay, let's see. We have let's Q this time around equal to say 20, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, then we have
console.log.
Console.log. What do you want to see?
Let's say we use plus
Q
plus
plus
C.
plus.
Sorry, plus plus Q rather.
Okay.
Plus
Q.
Yes.
Q. This is a pre. It's going to give us 21 instantly.
Yes. Yes.
Instant 21.
Then now do console.log.
Then you console.log Q only.
Console.log Q. Q is 21. 21.
Okay.
Q
I
is
get
21.
the difference now.
So, but now if you do, the thing is, look at the difference. Instantly we got it. Right? Like instantly we got it. That's the thing happened. So immediately we are, how am I going to put this? Yeah. Don't worry. Don't when we start using loops, we'll go over this again. But I know it's a quite tricky one, but
it seems really after if we use Q plus plus, that is when the increment will continue. If it is pre, the console will be bringing the current value of the Q.
Sure. Yeah.
This is pre. Do you understand? This is pre. Is coming before. No way in English we're talking about prefix, suffix. The pre, this is like you doing the increment before, right? This is pre. Then this is the post. The post is the one coming after post. Already we know that the current value of Q is 21, right? But if we do Q plus plus, remember for this one, here we did plus plus Q, we hit enter, it gave us 21 immediately. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah.
Immediately we did this. Immediately we wrote this line and hit enter. What did we get? 21. And what was Q? 20. But this one now, right? Let me hit enter. It didn't give me 22. But for this line, immediately we hit enter, we got what? 21. But this one, immediately I hit enter, it still didn't give me 22, the way this one did. I had to come back again and call it that, okay, so what's up with you? It now say, oh, something happened to me, and I was changed to 22. Thank you very much. Yes, someone just dropped. Adelby, thank you so much for this. I think this makes sense. Q plus plus means add 1 before you print the answer.
Exactly.
That's what this line here means now. You know, console.logs mean you should print this answer, but pre, that's add 1 before you print this answer, right? So that because you have added 1 before doing printing, the answer now becomes 21, right? But this guy simply means print before you add, you are going to print it. Print before you add one. After, that's why when we did console.log Q, it printed 21. Remember, 21 is the old value, right? Then you add one. That's add one before you print. That's maybe like for this one, it's simple. Add one before you print. That's pre. Do it before. It's like give birth before you get married. Don't do that. Give birth before you get married, or give birth after you get married. That's quite clear, I guess. All right, let's proceed, right?
Sure.
Yeah, I like that. I like what who is that? Is it Adaobi or
Yeah.
yeah, that's a very smooth one. You add one before you, yeah, that's smooth.
Okay. All right, guys. Thank you very much. That was a very good one. Very engaging and interactive. It wasn't boring. I love that. Okay, the next part is conditional statements. Oh God, can we cover this tonight?
We've run out of time, right? So we'll continue this conditional. Tomorrow is Good Friday. Are you guys available tomorrow? Should we have our class tomorrow?
I'll be available. I don't know about us.
So if you are going to be available tomorrow, if you support tomorrow, just drop yes in the chat box, right? So you can drop yes in the chat box. Let's see. Okay. I think almost everybody is on. How many? Okay, we have 9. Keep coming, keep it going. We have about 80 people on the call right now. We have 9 responses. So 9 people is available. Okay. All right, so fine. We can have our class tomorrow. So tomorrow we continue from conditional statement, right? Thank you, Samuel. That was a very wonderful session. So guys, I appreciate Samuel.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah. All right, so
Thank you very much.
yeah.
You're welcome.
So let's look at
Thank you.
so we are expected to discuss about what's it called?
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, assessment dates, right? So initially we already scheduled 4th to 14th of April for the assessment, but we realized that we've not taken you guys through enough of JavaScript, of which our our assessment is majorly basically based on JavaScript. We are going to be testing your JavaScript strengths, right? That's the criteria. HTML and CSS is just very. We are going to be testing your JavaScript strengths. So the new date now is going to be 12th to 19th of April, right? We are still going to share the infographics in the WhatsApp group. So keep it in mind, our assessment, technical assessment will be coming up on the 12th of April to 19th of April. So we share a Calendly link that where everybody can go to go and select your preferred dates and assessment. So it's going to be like something similar like this, like the section we're having right now. On your day that you have chosen for your assessment, you are going to come online like this. I'm going to give you some questions, and then you are going to be coding in real time. You're solving that question while we are watching you, right? So that's the assessment. It's no big deal. It's not a Cambridge assessment, right? So I'm going to give you some algorithms, right? Algorithm questions. Then you are going to solve it, using JavaScript, or even if you know any other languages, right? You can solve with any other language. What we want to test is your thought process and how well the logical reasoning person will do that. So that's that about that. And then for that thing I want to discuss, I think that's the major thing, technical assessment. Don't forget it's coming up on 12th to 19th of April. And then resumption date, of course, we will discuss that with you. We are resuming in May. The exact date is going to be communicated to everybody, right? So yeah. Thank you guys.
Going to be online, sorry.
Okay, any question?
The assessment, is it going to be online?
Yeah. The assessment is an online assessment. Like I said, this is something similar to what we are doing right now. You're going to come online, give you questions. There are some panel that will be sitting behind the camera, watching you coding in real time, assessing your logical reasoning and your thought process and, majorly your thought process. How do you break down problems? Right? Because as a developer, one of the major skills we are looking at for is your ability to solve problems, right? So we're going to be giving you some algorithm questions and we want you to break it down. As you can break algorithm down, yeah. You can cope and you can, right? So I hope I've answered that question. Any other question from anybody? Hello? Okay, in the absence of other question, yeah, I think this is where we draw the curtain for tonight. Thank you guys for staying with us. When we started, it was about 23 or 21 people. So it was cool. So we'll see you guys tomorrow, right? Thank you and good night.
All right, thank you. Bye, guys. Okay.